Okay, so here we're going to look at the gradebook, and I've got a student view going right now. So this is a quiz I've taken. It's going to, here was my first attempt. It says I got a 3.5 out of 5, and my second attempt was a 2, or my second attempt was a 1.5 out of 5, although maybe not everything's graded yet. So as the student, I see that it's keeping my latest attempt. All right, so that's how I know that it's going to take this. Now I can take the quiz again. It tells me how many attempts I've done so far. From the also from the student end, you can see on the grades button here, there's a little icon. If I click on it, it's going to see how this has affected my grade. So I come down to Unit 2 quiz. Unit instructor is working on this. That's what I currently have. Okay, I currently have a 1.5. So what I need to do is, as a teacher, I need to go in and I need to grade. So let's go to this one. As a teacher, I need to go into the assignment. So we'll go into the modules. I could find it right here, but I know where it's at over here as well. So I'll click on this. Then I know I'm going to have to open up SpeedGrader because this has been assigned and there's questions that need to be answered. So I'm going to come over here. This is kind of one of the problems with having questions where you need to answer versus automated when there's unlimited attempts. You know, you're not going to come into this all the time. So let's say make stuff fall. I'll give you half credit on that one. Please upload your work. Yep, I'll give you full credit there. So we will go ahead and update scores. So now we are up to a 3. Now let's go back to the screen we were in. This is for a student. I'm going to refresh this page. You'll notice that little icon here is gone because the teacher went, or I've seen the grade because I've seen the grade. This is here because this is a new grade. This is what was just graded. You can see my overall score is 80% because these are my relative weights. These are my weights of each category. These are my percentage of these weights. From the teacher end, so let's go back here. We'll go to the gradebook. When you go to the gradebook, and here's how I got here, on the speed grader, the far left button is the gradebook. Well, you can also just click grades and it'll take you to the gradebook. So here's a student account I have. Here's each of the assignments. Now, if I want, I can go into the assignment and I can change the score. So, yeah, they didn't really get a 5, or they didn't really get an 11. They got a 5. Excuse me. So I've updated that grade. That's reflected over here. It's also nice because in here in your settings, you can look at the history. You can hide names. So you're just seeing information without looking at individual students. You can throw zeros in as ungraded. That's kind of one of those standards-based grading things. You got to be careful about that, though, because if you've got a whole year's worth of stuff in here and everything's at a 0, you know, a student might only have 5%, but they might have an A in your class because the other stuff they haven't got to. So you kind of have to figure out how you're going to organize that. You can arrange columns by date or by points, and then you can see people who are no longer enrolled, or this is an interesting one, you can put a notes column in. I already have mine shown, but here you can just type notes. So if you have any notes you want to put in about a student, you can just type them in right there, and the students will see them. This allows, you can also go up here and see by sections. Remember, you can have a course, and then you have sections in a course, and you can have groups inside of a section if you'd like. Or you can go to individual view. This is, so let's say it's just period 1. Yeah, we'll set it up by group. Let's look here. Show notes, yep. So here we're going to select a student that we'd like to see. If we come down here, you can see the student's grade. And if you come right here, you can see a specific score, a specific assignment. So you can see that they got a 5 out of 11 on this. If you'd like to excuse it, you can click excuse right there. It's not a problem. Let's see some other stuff we can do. Here's some interesting stuff about assignments. So once you get in here, you can message students who have or have not submitted this, or if they got too low of a score, you can send them a message that says, hey, why don't you try this again? Anybody that got below a 60% or something. You can set a default grade. So this is where all students are going to get the same grade. You can overwrite, or you can not overwrite, or you can curve grades. So our average score was a 6. So enter average. It's kind of hard to curve because there's only one score, so you can't change the shape of this. But if you put in a different, so let's say we put in 7, we'll curve grades here. This score was changed to an 11 solely because there's only one score. You know, if there's actually a shape to that curve, you can actually set a curve, and then it'll change the scores to reflect that. So this is through the individual view, or this is through the default gradebook view. Either way works. If you scroll over to the right, you can see final scores for everybody. Hopefully that helps you understand Gradebook better.